Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be installing a NetFoundry on-prem solution and zLAN console together. We're going to start with a pre-built VM that meets the minimum requirements. Please refer to our documentation, easily available to see what the minimum requirements are. And now we're going to get started. So the access to the on-prem site is given through NetFoundry sales, and I'm going to go ahead and clone this repository. We are working on a offline installer right now, but this is the method currently available. So we are going to check that out. And once that's out, we're going to take a look. All right. And we're going to go into this directory here, clear the screen here, make it a little easier to read. And we are going to go through the quick start. Now, as you can see right here, we can provide the controller address and do a quick start yes, but since this is the first time we're going to do it, we're going to do it all interactive. One key piece that I'm going to add here is I'm going to add the zLAN install portion, which is a simple -z. So I'm going to do a quick start -z. And it says, welcome to the NetFoundry on-prem installer. It checks the prerequisites, and now it says, would you like to proceed? And I'm just going to hit enter to accept the yes. And we're off and running. While this gets installed, I am going to retrieve the DNS name for the box that we have up and running here. We are using AWS today, and so I'm going to go grab the external DNS name of this machine so that we can use it as our advertisement. And so here we go. I got the external name of this machine, and we will wait for this to finish here shortly. And yep, it's prompting us now to install K3S, and we will accept that. This install should be rather quick. We are running this on this adjusted size. That's the T3 extra large in AWS. And I did follow the instructions there and open up the ports for 1280 and 3022. So we are going to be taking the defaults today. And there you go. It's prompting me, would I like to install the ZD controller and router using the quick start? Yes, I would. And right there, it's prompting me for the controller advertise address. So I'm going to paste that in there. There it is. And it's prompting me for defaults. I'm going to take the defaults. And now it's going to go install the prerequisites in order to get the OpenZD controller up and running. One of the prerequisites is actually having a way to store and create certificates. And so we are using Cert Manager in this instance, since this is running inside of the K3S instance. Part of the zLAN install, and of course, when following the guides for the getting started, it will tell you, hey, go to deploy the on-prem solution, which is where we're starting. There's not quite information on how to get the zLAN started, but as I said, I just simply put a -z at the end. And what that's going to do is just going to tell the quick install script to also install the components from NetFoundry that are licensed. And so when that portion comes, it will prompt us for a username and password to access the repositories necessary to install all of the NetFoundry components. So right here, it is almost there. There it goes. It's now successfully installed the controller. It's prompting us to, if we want to install a router, we're going to say yes, because we're going to need one. You can see that the controller might not quite be ready immediately. It'd probably take just a few seconds for it to come online, but it shouldn't take too long as you've met all of the minimum requirements for the machine. And hopefully it will come immediately. There we go. It is using the same advertisement as the controller, and we will accept the default port. And there we go. It's continuing. It's now provisioning the router. Okay, and it's asking us if we want to install ZDH tunnel and the ZD resources for accessing the support tools. That is optional, but it's a nice way to access the internals and all of the endpoints if you want to lock everything down, which we probably do in the end, but right now we're just going to go ahead and install it anyway. And then it's going to prompt you for all of the intercept names for the tools for Grafana, Rabbit, Kibana, and there we go. So now that is successful. And now it's generating the key and registering the support user. There we go. Looks like it's getting the ZD host, which is the tunneler setup to host the services. And now it's going through installing there we go. All the log stash and support has been complete. Now it's prompting us for the NetFoundry credentials in order to pull the rest of the NetFoundry assets. And I will copy and I will shortly put this outside of scope here so that I can paste in the username and password. I'm doing that off screen quickly. Okay, and that was it. Okay, and then what you're going to get is you're going to get presented with all of these URLs that you can access. So the first thing we can see is we can access the OpenZD console here, which you can see it will be admin and the password. So let's copy that. Make sure everything works. It does. Okay. And then you'll see that you can access all the private. That's if you set up the support user. Otherwise, you can also access the zLAN console here. And we'll take a look at the zLAN console next. There we go. And the username password will be the same as the OpenZD console. So admin and paste in the password. So the first thing we're going to get prompted with is we need a license key. Okay, so since we're recording this, I am going to copy that and I'm going to do that outside of the video. Just drag this off, paste my key in there. I'm going to click save, and there it is. License updated, and you can see we can actually go to the system settings here. I will not show the license, but you can see that it has been applied for a specific time, and now we are off and running. So since this is a brand new installation, we really don't have anything here, so we're going to go through. Let's expand this just a little bit, and we're going to create our first firewall. And so I will click on new firewall. We'll do a demo firewall, a firewall test. Click continue, and then you're presented with the instructions on how to run the scripts to install the firewall. Now, again, I have another Ubuntu image that I pre-created and meets the minimum requirements. And I will copy this. And since that is a live key, I will once again drag this off. And we're right back to where we were, minus the clip where I pasted the key in there by accident. Anyway, so here we go. It is going through and it's installing all of it. And when we click next here, you will see that it is now successfully online. So we can close that. All right. Okay, so now you can see everything is up and running, and welcome to your brand new firewall. It is not configured yet. So we will go through the configuration together. I'm waiting for this to come back here. Here we go. Oh, sour. Not sure what that was. Okay, so it is now loaded, and we will clear that. We're going to exit and come back in just to get the help menu loaded for us. We could have just sourced that file. All right, and we're going to go through and zLAN router logs. We're going to take a look at that while we're doing this so that we can see exactly what it's doing while we configure this. Okay, so we're going to click on this. The very first screen you're presented with is a preview of all of the interfaces. You can see this machine has 2 live interfaces and a loopback. So we were going to treat as ENS5 as our WAN, our ENS6 as our LAN, and of course our loopback. This is just a presentation of what is configured on the box. You cannot manipulate anything here. Again, it's just showing you exactly what we're about to apply. So we're going to automatically allow ICMP and SSH and some of this other stuff we can apply after. So we're going to click continue. And here is an optional. This is something you can configure for the first time, and it is discovery mode. So what is discovery mode? Well, discovery mode basically is going to auto create inbound firewall rules in a specific interface so that it does not block anything. So if it were me and most of you, you should not open up your WAN directly, but open up your LAN. So we're going to select our LAN interface and we're going to click continue. And here is a review of everything we're about to apply, and then we're going to hit save. And you can see as soon as we hit save, everything got applied over to the firewall. And now we're done. And we can go back in there now that it's all complete, and you can make configuration changes to those interfaces afterwards. So one thing that I will change here is I will change our WAN interface here, and the config, I will enable masquerade here. And I'll apply it. You can see the changes just got applied as well. Okay, so now that we have everything applied, we should be able to go and start generating some data. Before that, I wanted to show you that in case you do need to set up VLANs, there is a VLAN interface here. You can create new sub interfaces on the fly in the console, and those will be applied here. Okay. There we go. Okay, now that we have the masquerading complete, we're going to take a look at the rules that were created. We go look at the LAN interface and go take a look at the rules. We'll see that a couple of rules have been pre-created. We can expand the console view just by clicking the expand button here so that we can see exactly what we have. So you see that 2 inbound rules have been automatically created for you. There are inherent outbound rules as well, which you can see that have been also added as well. Just like any other vendor, any other cloud, you need to be careful when you're adjusting your outbound rules. If you wish to do so, most people just leave them as default and allow all outbound and then concentrate on the inbound, which is what we're going to be doing today. So here are the discovery rules, as I mentioned, and we are going to go take a look at a client now that is behind this firewall. So I had previously set up a client here that is behind this firewall and is using this firewall as its gateway. So we are going to go run some traffic over it. I've just got a simple script to do a couple curls to an endpoint. And you can see it is reaching out and getting some good data back. So we'll let that run in the background for a while we continue the tour of the console. So for each interface, you will see all of the configurations. So for the LAN interface, you can go back and look at the details. You can look at the config, the rules that we just mentioned, and we also have discovery for that specific one. So since this is such a restricted view, this is just for a quick view. If we want to take a look at it in an expanded format, we can come over here to the network discovery. So let's go take a look at it. All right, so Here you can see exactly what's flowing over all of the firewalls that have been previously configured. Right now, it is a view of all flows. We can switch over to a more centralized uh, view by clicking on the consolidation button and take a look at the source address and take a look at that. And we can now see that there's data flowing in from that specific address. And then we're taking a look at that specific destination address, and you can see it's hitting that on port 443. And we can even create rules based on that one specific flow. And if we click on it, we can add a new rule based on this. The 162.159, 135.42. Obviously, you can name this whatever you want. It is going to be applied to ENS6. And it is coming from a specific and going to a specific. And we will change that here so that anyone behind this firewall could hit that specific IP address, not just the specific client that we have. And when we click done, you can see that it has created the rule successfully. So let's go take a look at that. Go back to the firewall section and click on our firewall. We can pull up our configuration. We can click on the interface itself. And then we can go take a look at the rules. And you will notice that a rule has been added here to allow 000 TCP inbound on 443 to go outbound to 162.159, 135.42. And so we could come back over to the config and actually disable discovery mode and click save. And now you will see that the inbound discovery rules have been removed, and we only are left with our firewall rule. In today's demo, I'm just going to keep the discovery open so we can get some more data. So I'm going to turn that back on and show you that the rules are available now. So let me show you how to add and remove rules as well. So from this interface as well, and let's expand it. We can select the rule that we did previously create from the network discovery, and we can click remove, and it will show you what it is about to do. So you can see that it is about to remove that specific rule. We can add a new inbound rule as well. So we can say, hey, I'm going to make a custom one. And this is going to be allow SSH, and it's going to be an interface ES6. Let's come here, and we're going to say we want to allow 1.1.1.1/32 to come to 0.0.0.0/0 and port 22. This is just an example. So you can see now that it's giving you a preview of the rules that it's going to apply. Once I click save, it's going to take those rules and it's going to apply them to the firewall. And just to clean up here, I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and I'm going to remove it. You can see it previews again, and when you click apply, it will send those policies down to the firewall. Let's go take a look at the next section, which is going to be the visualization. So from here, you can see the visual drawing of your topology here, and we can add some information to the view, like I want to see the interface names, possibly the address names, but I want to hide the loopback because I'm not using that. So you can see here. And this is being developed as we currently speak. So this is something that we're working on to let you visually create rules. So for instance, you can click shift and click on a specific interface or a specific internal address, and then allow it to another specific address. Like so, and you can see it's building up the rules right here, and then you'll be able to click the create rule, and it will automatically pick up the entire route. And this should work not only from within a firewall, but also firewall to firewall. Okay. I think the last piece is going to be the dashboard. we come back here, we can take a look and see what's happening and the summary. We can see that we've had some data move across our firewall, how many firewalls we have online, offline, and registered, and of course, just a snapshot of the traffic itself, as well as a couple of handy shortcuts to the documentation, to the NetFoundry homepage, and to the ZD administration console. All right, I think that is it. Thank you very much for joining me today, and hopefully there'll be more to come.